You know, when you argue with a fool, you just prove there are two. And I consider Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Tlaib, Congresswoman Presley, I think is her name. They call themselves the Squad. I consider them to be fools.
Wow. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Congress Flash. Today we break down what happens when a member of Congress criticizes the very country they serve and then faces consequences for it. Representative Ilhan Omar has officially been removed from the House Foreign Affairs Committee, and the reactions have been nothing short of explosive. Is this about anti-Semitism, accountability, or is it just political theater? Today I'm breaking down everything you need to know in powerful bullet points. No fluff, just facts. Let's dive in. Let's
start with
the...
There are a lot more important issues in front of the United States Congress and the American people than who tweets what to whom. So let me say it one more time. I thought in the president's original tweet, I thought it was a poor choice of words. I think I know what the president meant, and he clarified later and said, look, if you're not happy in America, leave. Just leave. And I agree with that. But his original articulation of that concept, in my opinion, fell short of the mark. Number two, frankly, I don't know why the president felt the need to tweet on this subject at all. You know, when you argue with a fool, you just prove there are two. And I consider Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Tlaib, Congresswoman Presley, I think is her name. They call themselves the Squad. I consider them to be fools. They hate America. They think America was wicked in its origins, and it's even more wicked today. They ought to be thanking America instead of calling America evil and wicked and racist. But this is America, and they have the right to their opinion. But I don't like to see the president even dignify their point of view. Besides that, I think that the Squad, as they call themselves, they are destroying the Democratic Party. You know, when your opponent is screwing up, don't interrupt him. Let him go. I mean, just looking at this from a political standpoint, if I didn't know better, I would think the members of the Squad were GOP plants. I mean, they think that illegal immigration, socialism, higher taxes, abortion are all moral goods. They think America, Israel, free enterprise are moral bads. That's not what most Americans believe. And that's kind of where I am on the subject. The president has explained his position. He has said, look, here's what I meant. If you're not happy living in America, leave. It's a free country, and I agree with that assessment.
If I am not on this committee for one term, my voice will get louder and stronger, and my leadership will be celebrated around the world as it has been.
Let's start with the spark that lit this fire, Senator John Kennedy. He pulled no punches, calling the Squad, Omar, AOC, Tlaib, and Presley, fools who, in his words, hate America. He accused them of constantly portraying the U.S. as evil and irredeemable. That comment set off a wave of reactions, and frankly, whether you agree or disagree, you can't deny this has become the centerpiece of a bigger national debate. At the core of this controversy is Ilhan Omar's removal from the House Foreign Affairs Committee. This wasn't random. Republicans pointed to at least 6 past statements Omar made, some using anti-Semitic tropes. She even publicly apologized for a few of them. That's why they say she's unfit to sit on a committee that represents America to the world.
Today's resolution, as it relates to Representative Omar, details 6 statements she made as a sitting member of Congress that under the totality of the circumstances disqualify her from serving on the Committee on Foreign Affairs.
Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks when you have a member of the Republican caucus who has talked about Jewish space lasers and an entire amount of tropes and also elevated her to some of the highest committee assignments in this body. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology when my life was threatened.
The representative can say whatever the heck she wants, but we don't have to accept it or embrace it. Individuals who hold such hateful views should rightly be barred from that type of committee.
This institution is better because of her leadership, and the Foreign Affairs Committee benefits from her perspective. So let's talk about what's really happening. Republicans are waging a blatantly Islamophobic and racist attack on Congresswoman Omar. And I've said it before, I will say it again. The white supremacy happening is unbelievable. This is despicable.
We're not removing her from other committees. We just do not believe when it comes to foreign affairs, especially the responsibility of that position around the world with the comments that you make. She shouldn't serve there.
The gentlewoman is recognized.
World. And here's the key question. Is this about free speech or about consequences? On one side, you have progressives like AOC claiming this is a racist, Islamophobic attack, part of a pattern targeting women of color. On the other side, Republicans argue this has nothing to do with race or religion, and everything to do with the content of her remarks. They say if you want to serve on such a critical committee, you need to believe in the country you're representing, period. And hey, if you're finding this breakdown useful so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss videos like this. I keep it real and bring you the facts without the spin. Let's be clear. No one's saying Omar can't have opinions, but freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences. You can say what you want, but when you represent America on the global stage, your words carry weight. Speaker McCarthy made the case. Foreign Affairs Committee members must reflect American values. If you believe the U.S. is inherently wicked, how can you fairly represent it to the world? That's not censorship. That's just common sense. This debate also touched a nerve around identity politics. Critics argue that Omar's defenders use labels like racist or Islamophobic to deflect from her actual words. And when real accountability comes, they claim it's discrimination. But here's the reality. This is about responsibility, not race. Ilhan Omar came to America as a refugee. She rose to become a congresswoman, a story that shows what this country's capable of. But instead of gratitude, her critics say she constantly condemns the very system that gave her that platform. So where do we land? Removing Ilhan Omar from the Foreign Affairs Committee wasn't about silencing her. It was about making sure those who speak for America on the world stage actually believe in America. You don't make an arsonist the fire chief, and you don't put someone who sees America as fundamentally broken in charge of defending its interests abroad. Let me know in the comments, do you think this was justified, or was it political overreach? If you got value from this video, give it a like, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more straight talk, sharp takes, and honest breakdowns. See you in the next one.